Turbo Turn-Up Time. The Black Tiger Miner live cast is starting now. It's Turbo Turn-Up Time. The Black Tiger Miner live cast is starting now. It's Turbo Turn-Up Time. The Black Tiger Miner live cast is starting now.
Might want to unmute the mic. Hello, YouTube. It's your main man, BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network on this Monday. Weekend's over. We're back to work, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, toads and tadpoles. We are back live, and we are back with the Turbo Turn Up Time. And Turbo is extremely close to pushing to 55,000 K holders. So let me know what you guys think and see, and if you guys been watching that. So let me start the screen share real quick. Let's see what we got here. Where are we? Let's see here. So this is the spotlight. So let's put the spotlight. You can see here we are at 54,999. One holder away from 54,000. I've been rocking with Turbo since we are around 1,000, right? Like, was it 1,000? I'm not even sure if it was 1,000. We didn't even start tracking the holders until it was around, I don't know, 15, 10,000. And this, I didn't even find Etherscan until it was at around 15, 20,000. So around 15, I've been watching this every day since Turbo was around, I'd say 16,000. And we are extremely close to passing over to the 54,000 holders, right? On our way to a billion. I told you guys several times or every day or all the time, Turbo was going to get to a $1 billion market cap, right? And now I think it's going to get to $1 billion and push right on past it, all the way up to, somebody mentioned maybe 40 billion, maybe 50 billion. People are saying 69 billion. I don't want to moon boy you or fudge you, but I think it might push up to maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 billion, right? I want to be conservative. I don't want to moon boy you out and send you to the moon, but definitely get to, what I say, 5 to 10 billion. Turbo will hit 1 cent this month. I think, Mahadi. This month's almost over because I was talking to my wife about that earlier. Currently, it is May 20th. We only got 10 days left, 11 days, 10, 11 days work, give or take. So let me know what you guys think about that. But we only got 10, 11 days left in May. Let me see. What is this? Today's the 19th. Let me see. Only got 12 days left in May. So if it does push up to 1 cent, that would be awesome. So looking at the bubbles, Turbo's up 3%. It was all red most of the morning. I guess around lunchtime is when we started going green. ABT is up 0.7. Not even sure what this is. Akato, 2%. XPX 0.7, MOG 2.8, Bitcoin 0.9. So Bitcoin is 105K. Oh, wow. Still pushing up. I guess the high today was 106K. Metals 1.5. Ethereum is still going up. 2,533, up 1.4% on the day. Alchemy Pay is up 0.2%. Bonks up 0.5. Theta's up 1.5. XCD is up 0.5. Everything else is red, looks like. So it's definitely a good time to buy the dip. I always tell you guys buy while it's down. So when it comes up, you got to make a little profit. Don't buy when it's already up. How many percents do we need to get to 1 cent? And I did write that down. Hold on a second. Um, I think I don't know. Actually, I think 1 cent will put us at a 20x, give or take. I think. I don't know. I gotta see that part of the math. Um, yeah, a 10x will be 4 billion. So I think if we get to 1 cent, that'll be at least, I don't know, 4 billion, maybe 5 billion. I don't know. I got to do the math. Or somebody who's on here can give us the answer. But let me know what you guys think, or let me know what you got there. Casper's down 4.9. Toshi's down 1.4. BitTender's down 1.8. Jupiter's down 2.6. Farcoin's down 2.6. Miles down 3.1. GigaChat's down 4.2. Radium's down 3.7. Red's down 4.8. Swarms is down 4.5. Ordinal's down 4.7. Nero's down 4.7. Fetch is down 2.2. Prime is down 3.5. Let me see here. I guess we'll look at the Block Explorer real quick for Aurora. 80 total counts, 168. Transfers, 319 total addresses. I think we're at 318, 317 last week. 44 tokens, 15.25 million total blocks, 3,600 transactions, 149 contracts, 36 of those have been verified. Let's check this real quick. Oh, wow, we're going down in freaking holders. So we're at 54,997. So let's go back to where we Twitter or X. This is the BTM Twitter page. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and see if we can get some more Twitter followers. Let me know what you guys think. How we can get the Twitter numbers up before people FOMO in and everyone jumps on the Turbo Toe bandwagon. So this is Max replying to Aurora protocol. Aurora is near the old-fashioned way gas fees using the blockchain with Turbo. Okay, I don't know what happened to the rest of the thing there, but this is a quick video from
community.
Aurora.
This is a community run.
And the guy's talking about, let me see, quick video on the Aurora site, interview with Gens Toe. Alex Aurora Dev shared how Turbo Token came to life easy and simple, the way it should be. So let me see.
A lot of cryptos are
Trying to actually bring the sound up. I don't know what happened. Clicked the wrong button, but let's bring the sound up a little bit. For some reason, this thing keeps changing my sound settings. I don't know what the freak is going on. Let me see here. Is it up? Yeah, for some reason that volume keeps going down. Let's watch this quick snippet with the Aurora developer.
Yeah, Turbo community is a great community. This is a community around the Turbo Toad token. This is a first AI meme coin that is launched on Ethereum with a market cap, or at least it was around 800 million US dollars. So this is a pretty big community. And we were connecting with them and checking in whether they would be willing to launch a chain. And they just did it. So now there is a turbo chain that is launched on top of the Aurora stack. It is available right now, and builders are building there. They are very focused on creators. They're very focused on different NFTs. There are multiple meme coins that are launching right now on this chain. So yeah, this is just an example how easy this can be. Yeah, Turbo community is a great community. This is a community around the Turbo Toad token. This is a first AI meme coin that is launched on Ethereum with a market cap, or at least it was around 800 million US dollars. So this is a pretty big community. And we were connecting with them and checking in whether they would be willing to launch a chain. And they just did it. So now there is a turbo chain that is launched on top of the Aurora stack. It is available right now, and builders are building there. They are very focused on creators. They're very focused on different NFTs. There are multiple meme coins that are launching right now on this chain. So
shout out to Aurora Protocol and the Turbo chain, Turbo token, blockchain. So let me see something real quick. Keep moving. Turbo is not just a coin, it's a moment. The AI technology, the AI meme coin revolution has begun, and Turbo is leading the charge. Forget your dusty old memes. Pepe Dodge, Grandpa's vibes. There's a new kid on the block, and he's built different. Created by AI, fueled by community, driven by pure energy. He is the hype, he is the vibe, he is the cycle. This isn't just another token, this is a cultural movement. And real time, it's meme, AI, narrative, community, and rocket fuel with other fumbles for while others fumble for relevance. Turbo is memeing to the top, Turbo to $1, Turbo to Vala, Turbo to the singularity. Yes, all the bluff, don't fade him, ride with him. The AI king is here, crown him. I mean, I should have used the crown. I got a little crown. I need to go ahead and throw that picture out. I got a little crown picture I need to get to or add to one of these thumbnails. Shout out to Lynn Sanity. Who was that? That was Turbo. Shout out to Lynn Sanity. Me connecting the dots at 3 a.m. to prove Turbo isn't just a coin, it is a meme coin. Yes, Lynn Sanity. I probably do that 6 or 7 times a week, all night studying, trying to figure out how Turbo will succeed. It's not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes. Enjoy the sunshine, Turbo fam. Shout out to Sid Jackson. Turbo is soaring high, nothing but the sky, freedom, and adrenaline. Let's fly above the noise. Let me see. Can I do two things at once? Don't always buy meme coins, but when I do, it's always Turbo. Drifts through the unknown waters, greeted by unlikely friends, even in the vast sea. Connection finds you. That's interesting. Let me see here. Turbo is a Vive Star General. fall in line or fall behind. I like that. The 5-star general. That is pretty cool. Let's see here. What was that? Sammy saying, Sunday vibes, turbo, happy uplifting art by Flippin' G Nasty. Wishing all the fam a wonderful day. Uh, did you know Turbo will do this soon? Now everybody's talking about the God candle, which is probably gonna happen sooner than you think. Turbo, bull flag holding strong. So this is the bull flag. This must have been over the weekend. So it is set to push up at some point. So let me know what you guys think about that as well. It's your main man BTM at 54,996. Where we're gonna keep checking this. 54,997. In a few short months, Turbo has done 25x or so. There are people who will flood in and buy Turbo token at 10 cents. And they will say, wow, I wish that I bought a half a penny. Now this is your chance. Don't wait. This is the last chance at 0.05 and under. I don't have trading view up, which is we're proud to be part of an amazing community, growing stronger every day, full of talent, passion, and shared dreams together always. It's a pretty cool picture. Turbo community. Roaring Toady, sometimes you got to switch off and quite literally hang out. The market does what it wants, but Turbo community stays strong and united. No stress, just flying along, slinging along, probably all the way to the moon. What's your chill mode? I'm in a hangout mode now. Day 34th asking Robinhood to list Turbo. This is Turbo's relax, full of energy, real eye catcher. Stay focused and effortlessly cool. I like that too. Day 36 of Action Robinhood to spot list Turbo. It's inevitable. Turbo is rising. Be part of the movement. Turbo is coming. Day 34 of counting days until Turbo sets a new all-time high. Don't wait for the green light. Build the machine that'll break through. It's actually pretty cool. Actually, shout out to Flippin' G Nasty. Uh, Turbo wasn't launched; it was unleashed. The frog that needs no explanation just to be seen. Art that doesn't ask for logic only marks a visual digital external. It doesn't pass narratives. It doesn't push narrative. It paints it. What's coming isn't a trend, it's a legacy. The people's token. What up? Unknown. It's weird. Turbo to the moon. Okay, unknown. Turbo is getting ready to set up shop on the moon, and that's the only temporary toad is setting sights on the moon, and the only um pit stop. It's going multi-solar system 25x minimum from here. Bringing the waves, good vibes. Turbo is catching some sunshine. And sending happy splashes. Brother, share your video on CoinMarketCap Turbo section. Thousands of people a day from Turbo to see those posts. You'll gain tons of new subscribers. Actually, I did put it there. Nobody's coming. I mean, you guys can like, share, and subscribe as well, right? It's the word. You guys got to get the word on the street. I'm doing what I can. This channel the channels that share their videos there get like 8,000 views a day. You can grow Turbo audience fast. I always love your Turbo videos. Thank you, sir. Unkind or unknown. Sorry. Thank you, unknown. But yeah, appreciate your help. Appreciate you trying to help spread the word in the community, trying to get the BTM News Network out there, right? Just trying to break through. But thanks and continue to join, share, and subscribe. I help share your videos sometimes, but thank you, unknown. Ramon, Turbo's coming for that Robinhood listing. Mark it down. Turbo is not just another meme. It's the next SHIB movement in the making. Not financial advice, but when it rips past 1 billion and eyes 40 billion, won't be the one saying I should have gotten sooner. If your bags are dead weight coins, this is your sign. You can wish for different times, but you can't turn back time. Turbo will be back on everyone's lips very soon. Patience, no words. I need to get patience t-shirt. That's pretty cool. What matters now is the volatile market keeps a cool head and remains patient. Turbo isn't just a card game. However, there are parallels. With Turbo, you have an ace up your sleeve. Hold. Holy Turbo, the heavens miracle, just a few clicks away. Buy some and flourish through the magnificent journey. This is turbocharged looking, a turbocharged looking chart. So let's click to a video real quick. I need to check something anyway. Let me see if we can play this and I'll be right back.
It's your boy Crypto J coming at you with another J Talks Crypto. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. I do my best each and every day to give you guys the top picks in cryptocurrency. Guys, we on a mission hit 100K and ain't nothing change, homie. So today we are going to talk about some turbo. We're going to talk about some Bitcoins. You guys can see Bitcoin looking crazy right now, right? Went all the way up to 107, dropped all the way down to 102. And now it's almost back at 104. What the heck is going on? Look at this Bitcoin chart in the past 7 days, guys. Totally crazy, right? Look at this. Absolute madness. What's going on? Are we breaking down? Are we breaking up? Not concerned about it, guys. Today we're talking about Turbo, right? The market's going to look volatile. Turbo, yeah, it's down 6%. But I just want to talk about this coin because again, I feel like this coin is a coin that is worth talking about and worth having on your watch list. Again, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you that this is one coin that you might want to pay attention to in 2025 because the holder count to market cap ratio, in my opinion, this is not too crazy. Like Turbo really doesn't have a ton of holders compared to its market cap. And there's similar projects that have like similar market caps. Like literally Toshi and Turbo are about the same market cap right now, but Turbo's amount of holders is only at 54,000 holders. And then the market cap is sitting at 350 million. And that's kind of crazy. You know, a lot of people are holding Toshi and holding and not holding Turbo, right? But that's a good thing because that means Turbo's kind of under the radar in terms of the amount of people that can hold it, right? I think that Turbo does have some appeal. It's on a lot of big exchanges too, right? So the fact that look in the past 24 hours, look how much buy volume it's had. It has an increase of 64% buy volume. So there's people that are trading this. It's on Binance, it's on Coinbase, it's on all the big exchanges where you'd want it to be at, right? Gate.io and KuCoin and crypto.com. It's really everywhere. These guys have been having Turbo. We were early on it. We caught this before all these big exchanges. Kraken. These guys have awesome marketing. They're able to get on these big exchanges. These big exchanges look for coins that have demand. You know, you guys could see, you know, there's 205,000 people have voted on this. 91% of them bullish on Turbo. Turbo has 116,000 followers. There's more people following Turbo over here than are even holding the coin, and it's coming in at 151. And so I'm curious to see if Turbo can work its way up. Again, Turbo has been one coin that has been of interest to a lot of people, and this is a Ethereum based token. So again, the fact that it's on ETH, maybe, once Ethereum starts picking up, a lot of these ETH tokens will also start picking up. I like the fact that, again, you don't need Uniswap to buy Turbo. Even though when we were talking about Turbo initially, you did need Uniswap. We were that early on it. It wasn't on every big exchange, but now it is on most big exchanges. And that's one thing that gives me a lot of comfort in Turbo, is that it's been listed on a lot of big exchanges. Their website really hasn't changed much this entire time. They have a roadmap. That's something that I do like. I like that the coin actually has a roadmap. A lot of these guys don't have roadmaps, right? They're frequently talking on Twitter all the time too. This is one of the most bullish communities, I feel like, even though these guys, they have 111,000 now. So they have more people over here on X than actually Toshi has. And Toshi's a much bigger coin in terms of people, so they could really push it too. But Turbo really makes some noise. You guys could see this post was shared in 2023. It has 3.8 million views on it. Some of these posts that they've been making have pretty good engagement. So they're getting decent reach. They get a good amount of shares. A lot of people, again, bullish still on Turbo. These guys are patient. They've won a lot of polls on my channel, even with that I've had over like 11 million people vote on them. Turbo has been one coin that has been like really doing really well on some of those polls. So again, that's something that I'm paying attention to. Turbo coin is one that is definitely on my list. I want to know what you guys think about Turbo coin though. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you bullish on Turbo coin, or do you think it's already topped out? Also, if you guys have not yet joined me over on Patreon, join my Patreon, guys. I got a Telegram over there, and I ain't.
So shout out to Jake's Talks Crypto. Moving forward, this is the main man, Freeman Finance. So let's see what he has to say real quick. You see, I guess we might, I don't know, he's pretty loud. We might
Some previous all-time high or
But as we go through the Turbo Toad streets, thank you, Unknown. But help get the word out so we can get views. But it doesn't really matter, right? I just want to help you guys find the way. If it views come, go, who cares, right? We're still going to be the Turbo Toad community, the Turbo Toad army, and the Turbo Toad turn up.
or is this just a lower high? In this video, we're going to go over everything that I think is going on with Turbo and why I have so much confidence in the yellow toad, guys. I truly do believe this is the meme coin super cycle. Like this guy said, he did not lie to us, in my opinion. But in this video, we're going to go over all the recent charts and why I believe Turbo is going to lead the altcoin cycle, guys. We're going to get into everything Turbo and more. I love you all. This is never financial advice. Over to the website, beautiful yellow toad. And guys, everyone has their hand dipped inside of Turbo. As you can see, Aurora, which is near protocol. When you come down here, you can see 125 plus spot exchanges, guys. This is a lot of money tied up from exchanges for Turbo. I do not think they are going to let it fail. I believe they're going to promote it, and they're going to make sure that Turbo is a top 3 or top 5 meme coin in the space. That's what I personally believe. People defend their interests, and I believe that exchanges are going to defend theirs with Turbo. When we come over here and take a look, guys, we hit, oh my gosh, what an amazing entry. This was $100 million, 97 million. What an entry for Turbo. We came up here and we've been essentially bull flagging. Like I said, never financial advice, but it looks like we're bull flagging out here around the $300 million price point. Right here, it might look bad, like you made a super low, and now you're just getting a relief pump. But whenever we look at the zoomed out picture that we're going to do in a minute, I want to tell you why I am so bullish on Turbo. But before we get into that, I want to get into the macro market. Why do I think crypto is going to do so good? So whenever we take a look right here at the Fear and Greed Index, we can see we're starting to tip up there a little bit, right? We're up above 70. We had this double bottom right here that I called around 20 Fear and Greed Index. I think this is a very, very important metric that we have. When we come over here to altcoin season on Coin Market Cap, we can see that altcoin season is still very, very, very low. We're at a 24 out of 100. Guys, this should make us extremely bullish. If you believe in Ethereum, if you believe in altcoins, if you believe in anything outside of Bitcoin, BTC, we should be extremely bullish on having such a low altcoin season with Bitcoin approaching $107,000, guys. I know me personally, I am super, super bullish on this fact. But whenever we go to the macro meme coin market, when we look at the overall market cap for meme coins, you can see that it hit a high up here of around 70, 80 billion. This was just a little bit ago back in May, guys. It had a previous high. If we go back to see this right here, back in December, it had 130 billion dollars. So look how far away it is from that right now. We are a very, very long ways away. So if you just look at this overall meme coin market as a chart, you can see we kind of came down. We came up here, we made a high, we're making a low, and it looks like we're going to make a lower high. If you just look at this chart as an overall crypto chart, you can see we had a high of around $140 billion, guys. Then we made this low down here around 40 billion. Oh my gosh. If you could have an ETF on the meme coins, guys, that would have been a banger. But now it just looks like we're making higher high after higher high with higher lows after higher lows. So it looks like we're on well on our way to having the meme coin super cycle. And we come over here to BTC. BTC is very, very high. This is the 1 month chart, but something that makes me extremely bullish on Turbo instead of BTC is the fact that when you look at this 1 month chart of BTC being up 84,000 to 106,000, which I'm sure nobody would shy away from. When you look at Ethereum in that same amount of time, it's from 1,500 to 2,500 with the high of 2,700, guys. That's a big multiple of Ethereum over what BTC did. And sure, some people could say, well, Ethereum has underperformed, but what do I say? Altcoin season. I truly believe it's because altcoin season is coming. I believe money is rotating out of BTC into Ethereum. Now, I do not think the top is in for Bitcoin. I do believe we're going to make one more high. Maybe we're at 95 right here. We're at 106 over there. I believe we get to 120-ish. Of course, never financial advice, but I believe Ethereum has a very long ways to go, because when we look at its chart, it looks a lot different from Bitcoin's chart. You can see Bitcoin is matched up with its previous all-time high. When we take a look at Ethereum, it's a long, long ways away. And we all know that Ethereum really, truly does lead altcoin cycles. So I'm expecting Ethereum to make at least a double top with this all-time high back in 2021. Now, I could always be wrong, but I do expect a 43 to 4,500 Ethereum at the bare minimum, more likely 7,000 to 10,000 Ethereum. But what I really believe is happening on this lower time frame with meme coins is I do believe we're having a cup and handle pattern. Like we come back here and we take a look at the weekly, what I believe is happening is a cup and handle pattern. Typically what happens there is the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup. That's the distance of the breakout, which would take us up to 80 billion in market cap. So whenever we take a look at Turbo, that is essentially what looks like is happening right here. There's a little cup and handle pattern going on as well. It's not quite as clear because whenever you take a look at a cup and handle, Typically, what you have is a lower high, which is exactly what we have here. So you can see we had a high up here of 1 billion. You come up here, you have a low down here, you have a 30% retracement, and then you can take it up. At least that's how I view technical analysis. But whenever I take a macro look at what everything Turbo is building, guys, this thing is rock solid. They have every partnership you could want. They have the ultimate story behind Ret Mankind and the Turbo Toad token. Like, seriously, if Turbo fails as a meme coins are dead. That's all I believe in. Like, if the fact that you have 125 plus exchanges, you're partnered with Near Protocols Aurora, you're partnered with absolutely everyone. If Turbo doesn't make it, who's going to make it? So I believe there's a positive outlook for Turbo going forward, guys. I made a long on BitUnex around 100 million market cap. That did.
Shout out to my main man, Freeman. So I got a repair going on. I need to step out real quick. I will be right back. So check out this trading sniper. It's the longest video I could find. And I will be right back. So hold on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, toads and tadpoles. BTM will be right back.
I just apologize in advance. Things were getting cleaned up today. So, everything's going to be back to normal very, very soon. I promise. I promise. I promise. Listen, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we can see that we are at 54,905 holders, right? We talked about how we believe we're going to hit 55,000 holders this week, and we are not too far away. By the time this video comes out, there'll be practically 48 hours left to see if we do hit it. And I truly, truly do believe there's a very, very good chance. I am recording this at 11:35 p.m. EST on Friday, and the video will be out at 8 a.m. EST on Saturday. So, just in 9 hours or so, it's going to be uploaded. So information, everything is fairly fresh. Big shout out to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. First 50 people get $20 off their first 2 meals, which means you can literally eat for free. Just use the code on your screen or the link in the description below. Fairly fresh. We can see if we go to Turbo, ladies and gentlemen, we are the 153rd ranked coin, right? We can see we're at 350 million, gone down a couple percent. We had 74 million volume. So not bad, considering the whole market has been bleeding out, right? We know the whole market has been bleeding out. And, this is just something that, it's just happening, right? It's not a Turbo issue. It's not anything issue. This is just something happening on the micro move, right? Like I always said, these moves personally don't really concern me too much, but I do know you guys like the updates. Look, I have some things drawn up, right? We can see that I had an arrow pointing here. The reason why I have an arrow pointing here is because this was Thursday on May 8th. I already believe there were signs of exhaustion for Turbo, which pretty much was indicating that, hey, this coin should be reversing. There's not much power to it left. And then on this Thursday is when Ethereum kind of just went nuclear, right? It kind of blew up, which is why I believe we even had just a little bit more of a pump. But we can see the next day we already had like a doji type candle, and then we just started to go sideways and we started to sell off, right? We have this trend line, boom, we broke below it, we were retesting it, and guess what? We kept selling off. Friday, which was still today, but I guess the daily candle already closed, we did have retests off of this zone, but we could see that we failed and we closed lower, right? Around 4 a.m., we were pumping hard, but by the time, 8 a.m. came around, then 12 o'clock, we already started to sell off, reject and sell off. So I do expect this coin to go down all the way to 0.00472. It would not surprise me if we then get a little bit more of a fundamental pullback to the upside. But then again, we would probably break structure and continue to go lower. Okay. Overall, I expect the markets to be bleeding to get some type of correction. You have to remember that in the last 5 weeks, right? If we go even on something like Bitcoin, because this is the head of the snake, right? You have to remember that just roughly 5 weeks ago, guys, we were around, the mid to high 70s, right? And 5 weeks later, we are all the way up, boom, 6 weeks technically. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of green, and now a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of sell-off. So you have to realize that 5 weeks of pumping, there's bound to be some kind of exhaustion, right? There's bound to be some type of, sell-off to be happening. It is literally just inevitable. We can see that we have went from pumping movement to sideways movement. Now, this doesn't mean we are going to necessarily break like 101K, 101.5K and continue to go lower, right? And get super, super big corrections. Because if that was the case, then obviously something like Turbo would suffer a lot. I believe there's a decent chance that we will get something kind of like the way we were getting over here, okay? Where we just kind of just range. We just kind of range between two zones, break up, range between two zones, right? If we go like this, boom over here, and then we clone it again, you see we are between two zones very, very nicely, right? Two zones, break up. So it would not surprise me at all to see, overall ranging could be a decent manipulation sweep, right? Manipulation sweep possibly back to like 99, 100K, or 100K is a psychological level. So I do expect some buy orders to be happening there. The reason why I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, is because it is all related and relevant to Turbo. Like I said, it is the head of the snake. So pretty much how Bitcoin moves is how Turbo is going to move like 99.9% of the time. Okay, that is just the reality. That is just the reality. So, if we do get continuation sells, especially if we go back to around 100K, maybe 99K, I definitely do expect Turbo to be hitting that 0.004. Okay. Now, we talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again. I do think it is very, very smart to overall be dollar cost averaging in these ranges. Okay. I really, really do believe so. I do want to see a fundamental retest down to 0.0032. That is where I would definitely be buying lots of Turbo, right? Whatever positions I would have up here, I'd definitely make sure to be double downing once Turbo retests this, if it retests this. I think there's a decent chance. Obviously, it would require a massive pullback, which might not just simply happen, right? 40% is a large amount. If we do take the Fibonacci tool from the top to practically when the pump started, right? Boom, let's just say here, then we can see that would be a 78% retracement of the whole move, imbalance filled and support, getting tapped. The most fundamental retest you could possibly have. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should have, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets. We've seen this before with something like Turbo, where Turbo was not shy to pump, right? It was not shy to pump, but then it went back all the way to its bottoms, right? This has happened actually multiple times where, boom, it goes up a lot, goes back to its bottoms. The only time it didn't really happen was when the market started to shift, very, very bullish. But we can see even then, right? When talk about this range high to the start of these pumps, right? We were traced 88%. So like I said, Turbo is not shy to pull back. It's really, really not. It is very, very manipulated in this type of aspect that, it goes into certain order blocks. It fills up certain imbalances, and then, continues doing what it's going to do, right? Even when Turbo was younger, practically a year ago, a little bit more, right? If we take it from when it really started to pump, 88% retracement. If we take it from a little bit lower, still practically tapped 88% at one point. So, just be wary about it. Just be, considerate about it, because it is a possibility, right? It is a possibility, especially if Bitcoin does start breaking down to the downside, filling this imbalance, and especially if Bitcoin would hypothetically, right, want to fill up that imbalance and do more of a fundamental retest off of like 97, 98K, right? That would be a 5% retracement, but we've seen it before where Bitcoin retraced 3%. That caused Turbo to go down 12. And now if we use the same similar type of ratio, That means if Bitcoin did hypothetically go down 5%, we could see Turbo retrace even 20%. And if Turbo were to retrace 20%, then Turbo would be somewhere, at these lows at 0.004. So yeah, just be wary about that. Just be wary about that. It's not set in stone that it is going to 100% happen. We've seen when Turbo has been, has pumped before and has retraced, right? Especially when it's in a bullish environment when things were recovering, which is kind of like the context we're in right now. It did retrace to the 0.61, 0.70. So if we did get something similar, then that would not also surprise me too. Okay. Remember, you don't have to have the most important, accurate, philosophy and ideology behind Turbo right now, right? You guys are not really leverage trading, from my understanding, just buying the coin and kind of holding it. So, buying at these zones would be very, very nice. And if you don't know how this tool works practically, think about it like the 0.50 being neutral. Anything below it, actually, no, think about it. The top is 0. All right, that's maximum could have bought it. This is the cheapest in the relevant range. And, if it goes down 50%, that means you are at a 50% discount from this relevant top, which is very, very nice. So, if something's 50% off, would you buy it? I would say, yeah. Something's 61% off, would you buy? I say, yeah. 70%, yeah. So just think about it that way, ladies and gentlemen, right? Think about it that way. Super, super simple and easy ideology and philosophy to follow. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Things should be back to normal sooner than later. I really, really do hope so, right? Just cleaning the room and stuff for renovation still. Setup is not complete, but it should be by the time the other videos come out. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.
Let's dive into the potential of a Doge dividend, riding on XRP, plugged in to the American government. You guys are not going to want to miss this one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Uphold. This is a great place to get your crypto venture started. You guys can jump over to uphold.com. You'll get early notices of tokens coming on the system. It's a very interesting platform out there. Try it out. Great wallet. All you have to do is use our link down below to get some additional features and benefits. Uphold.com. All right, let's go over to a couple of points I want to hit on right here. I went out with a tweet this morning and asked everybody, when Doge convinces Donald Trump to go on American blockchain for full transparency, which one would they select? Well, as you can see right there, this thing is still going, and it's XRP at 87.7% right now. Now, remember, this is only 4, you have a max of 4 choices on X. So if you guys are out there checking out this poll, let me know in the comments on Twitter there, because I don't, there may be some other chains that you feel that might work for where this is going. I want to go to a clip real quick, because this is where it gets into the theme of what we're talking about today and how the government efficiency program is starting to make an impact. Take a look.
The country of Colombia. Well, it's nice. 25 million to go into Colombia. In Africa, $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for something that nobody ever heard of. And behavior change in Uganda, 42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $10 million for circumcisions in another country. And $21 million for voter turnout in India. We're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about like voter turnout here in Nepal? $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long. This is all fraud.
If you look at their savings page and jumping on to doge.gov, and you can kind of see a couple of points. I want to highlight, and this is something I showed the other day, is this statement right here. The website will improve and the updates will converge to real time. This is a pretty significant thing, because the only way that's going to go real time is got to be blockchain. If you look further on down into what they've been collecting on, and just to kind of also remember, they've got 2 little tabs here: total contract value and then the savings value. So in many cases, people think they're just cutting everything, but not really in the case. Like, for instance, Bloomberg Terminals right there. If you go to savings, they go from 178 to 148. If you zoom in on that, you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. So this is a great place to really find what they are cutting and what they aren't cutting going into this, and where it's starting to impact our government. All right, I want to flip over to this one. This goes through the federal government current expenditures. And you can, of course, we know what that is on the Q4 to our Q1 2020 and the explosion we had there. But we've also had some increases in 21. And then, of course, here we are since 22 with this continued. Now, there's mandatory expenses and there's non-mandatory expenses. And that's something that is playing out here and how Doge is analyzing what's going forward. And also in the idea of whether or not we might see a potential dividend. And I'll explain what the dividend is. We've got a clip to kind of get you guys down the road here. But here's Elon. Tens of millions of people marked in Social Security as alive. This is crazy on the ages of these. If you look in this range right here, we'll just start at the 110. Let's give all those 100-year-olds, those 4.7 million 100-year-olds, the benefit of the doubt. And you go, let's go ahead and go to 110, 3,000,006, 120, 3,000,004, 130 years old, 3,000,009, 140 years, 3.5. Point is that there's so many people or entities collecting Social Security that you could backfill this into a lot of the people that should be collecting it. And I think that's what Elon and the Doge team is trying to do. So very interesting statements right now. I also want to jump over to a quick clip, because this is where Trump talks about the Social Security waste. And this is leading to a point that I'm getting at of how this could end up on a dividend. Take a look.
When I saw the Social Security numbers, I said, wow, millions and millions of people over 100 years old. Everybody knows that's not so. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. Now, the good thing about Social Security and what I read, if you take all of those numbers off, because they're obviously fraudulent, all of a sudden we have a very powerful Social Security with people that are 80 and 70 and 90, but not 200.
Doge investigations. The head of Social Security.
He resigned or got fired? I think got fired. But when you have numbers like that, I think really it's got fired. They have to get fired. Who would keep them? How could you have numbers like this?
All right, so he is right. Social Security head steps down over the Doge excess. And if you look at it right here, King refused to provide Doge staffers at the Social Security Administrator with sensitive information. I'm assuming that's his Social Security numbers, which are available out there. I think most people can get Social Security numbers. And that, of course, was apparently in what clearly is either negligence or just a pure cover-up. I don't know which it is, but either is bad in either way. So that, of course, is a step down. Here's the guy that replaced her, and this is a guy that is chairman of the board and chief executive officer over at Fiserv. Now, this is interesting because of the connections to where Fiserv could be going. I want to go over to a clip real quick that will get into what he thinks he's going to do to fix the Social Security Administration. Take a look.
Do you think you can turn around Social Security in the same way?
This company, we do 2.5 trillion in payments a day, and Social Security pays 74 million Americans once a month for 1.5 trillion or so.
So how do you make it more efficient?
We just brought a great CIO in, who's a payments CIO, who I knew, and he's in there already. So it's going to be a technology story. I don't know that it's much different than the first data story. Everybody thought that wasn't fixable. And we build AI to find fraud, waste, and abuse for a living. So it's going to be a tech story.
We're going to work with Doge?
100%, you know, I mean, 100%.
Okay, so 100% going to work with Doge. This is the company that basically is a backbone for payments. It's going to be a tech story, and right here on the Fiserv's website, best-in-class capabilities, all, of course, on cryptocurrency solutions. So all of that starting to point to some other areas. This was a statement back in 2018. Guys, this is 2018, November of 2018. Execs from Ripple, Fiserv, Zelle discuss blockchain payment and instant transfers. So the point being is this has been connected for quite some time. Is it a turnkey solution that literally could hit the ground running? In other words, you don't have to go out and build it. It's there today. So that's something that is very intriguing. One other area I want to take a look at is the Faster Payments Council. This is a government entity out there. And when you go in and look in and dig into their board and the members, we have somebody else showing up. This is James Selleck, also on Ripple. So tied into Faster Payments. You look further into, this was the Federal Reserve document that goes into the Faster Payments task force participants. And I'll zoom in on that. There's Ryan Zangone. He is, of course, also with Ripple. We haven't seen a ton of companies that are in blockchain space in here, but Ripple is there. So again, more tied into faster payments. Remember, Ripple is cornerstone of where Swift was over the past 35 years. Ripple is kind of that new potential of being able to move money around the world. Could they go down to the retail level and get into this is the question. Other things I want to hit on, of course, this is Donald Trump on Truth Social. He hits on a couple of points right here. He tweeted twice about this. And what he's talking about is the effect of the Trump bump on Ripple Labs. Now, remember, Ripple is a US-based company. So that's another factor that comes into it, much like what I was talking about on my poll, is the companies that are going to be involved in Doge or any kind of activity around the government. I think there will be multiple blockchains, by the way. They're all going to be American crypto companies. There's no way that Trump is going to allow that outside of the United States. So that in itself, I think, is more sign that we could see some more push that way. Now, when you look at why are they focusing in on these areas, and when you look at two of the things, or actually several of the scenarios that are the most expenditures of the U.S. government, Social Security at 21%, Medicare at 15%. So Social Security right there at the top. Then you get into national defense, which is a big part of it. But Social Security, a large one. So they've already uncovered what appears to be, just in 24 hours, almost $5 billion available. And they have yet to completely execute on the full audit of what they're doing with Social Security Administration. You also look at this right here, Trump, will he cut military spending? It is still a chance that the military industrial complex could get hit here. And you got to think about everything that's happening in NATO, everything that's happening overseas, whether or not we see scenarios play out within the situation with Russia and Ukraine, all of this, which has been a large amount of our spending, especially in the defense area. Trump says Ukrainian President Zelensky admits that half of the money that we sent to him is missing. I don't even know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this. I want to go into Pete Hegseth. Here's what he says about a Pentagon audit. This is just another bag of tricks that I think that the Doge team is going to do. Take a look.
That includes a Pentagon audit. To the Marines out there, y'all got to figure it out. Lean and mean. The minimum, by the end of 4 years, the Pentagon passes a clean audit.
Imagine that, passing a clean audit. That is just unspoken heresy in government these days. Well, you've got the government page right here, and this is on Polymarket, holding at 55 billion. So what looks to be a continued ramp up in terms of the amount of savings. And remember, we still got scenarios of a Fort Knox audit. We've got all situations still up for grabs in the U.S. government that is potentially going to change things for sure. Elon is looking at the budget by at least 10% in 2025. This looks likely as it's going to be much more than 10% in 2025. The other thing I want to look at right here is something that was put out on Twitter. And it was basically a proposal that was designed around the Doge dividend, is what we'll call it. I'm going to zoom in on this. And what it basically represented was 400 billion in Doge-driven savings, which may end up being the true case. We're at 50 billion already, divided by 79 million tax-paying households. And this is the difference here. Tax-paying households versus the stimulus checks that went out during the pandemic, that went to pretty much every warm body. If, in fact, a $5,000 Doge dividend, because that's what it would be, is a per check per household based on tax-paying households there. This would be huge. Now, so this was presented. This is the guy that did it. His name's James Fishblack. And here was his plan right here. He pitched this up to Elon. And then Elon comes in and says, you know, this doesn't look so bad. Check with the president. So here's a clip of him, the creator of the Doge dividend, of him explaining how this can work. Take a look.
And it's really simple the way it works. You take all the money that Doge saves, 80% of it goes down to paying the national debt, 20% goes back to taxpayers in the form of a refund check. So the first reason you need a Doge dividend is because you have to do right by the taxpayers. They deserve a refund check for the money that they sent to Washington that was abused. Number two, you incentivize them to report abuse, waste, and fraud that they see in their own lives in the federal government. And that in turn drives up the total savings that Doge delivers, and in turn drives up the Doge dividend check. Number three, restores the trust between the taxpayer and the federal government. There's a contract there. And then fourth and finally, because the Doge dividend is contingent on that individual having paid federal income tax this year, it will actually incentivize labor force participation. If folks know that there's a $5,000 check coming next summer when Doge wraps up its work, and they're on the sidelines now, that gives them every incentive to join the labor force, to start paying taxes, and in turn to get that $5,000 checks. And the best part is the inflationary risks just aren't there. Unlike the COVID stimulus checks, which were funded via.
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. We went a little over and out of the way. Let's check Trading Sniper and I'll be right back.
How are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we are talking about the one and only Turbo coin, ladies and gentlemen. Right, if we go on Turbo's Twitter, we can see that there are no new updates at this current time, but that is okay considering, Turbo has done so much. Over the next couple of months, I expect there to be more quality updates over quantity, right? The days of getting listed on all these little exchanges here and there are most likely over. I'm sure there's still a couple exchanges that we can possibly get listed on, but in terms of very big impactful news, it is definitely going to be more selective, and there's definitely going to be periods of time where nothing happens major. Okay, I know Robinhood is definitely on the cards. For me, that is going to be big shout out to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. First 50 people get $20 off their first 2 meals, which means you can literally eat for free. Just use the code on your screen or the link in the description below. Turbo's #1 goal, of course, is to get listed on Robinhood. I believe Robinhood will be listing Turbo and a bunch of other meme coins and cryptos in general over the next couple of months. We've been seeing a lot of adoption all over the world. So for me, it would just be bad business for someone like Robinhood not to list Turbo, right? Especially that massive exchanges and institutions were accumulating Turbo, bought Turbo, a lot of Turbo just a couple weeks ago. And that's what I'm saying. I really do expect things to be, good. I expect things to be getting listed on Robinhood sooner than later. When exactly, I do not know, but I would just put a lot of money that it is going to happen. Listen, if we go to the price, we see at 0.005, we have dropped off a little bit. We are 154th in the world, and we are 347 million market cap with almost 100 million volume. So not bad at all. If we go to the holders, ladies and gentlemen, before we go look at the price, we can see that we are almost at 55,000 holders, which is what we love to see, right? Turbo is growing regardless of price. And we know price has been slowing down and going down the last couple of days, a week and a half. So, and it's still been growing, which is what we love to see. Now, before we jump into the Turbo charts, ladies and gentlemen, right, we have to discuss Bitcoin because I believe Bitcoin is looking to have a big pullback. Okay, we know that there has been a lot of exhaustion, a lot of signs of saying, hey, look, things are going to kind of reverse, right? Last week's candle was pretty weak. Then, we closed fairly well, but instantly we swept it and now we have sold off massively, right? We go to the 4-hour candle, we engulfed all of the progress. If we go to the last couple hours, we could see that boom, yeah, swept, manipulated instantly, and we most likely will be coming back down to the 100K area at the bare minimum. So, that is, that means Turbo is definitely going to be pulling back. If we do have further pullbacks, then I could definitely see something like Bitcoin going to 98K. And of course, we would take things one step at a time. If that were to happen, that means we would drop roughly, either roughly 3% or 5.5%. So if we go to something like Turbo, we know last time we dropped 3%, Bitcoin dropped 3%. That means we dropped 12%. So if we did have something similar, we might be dropping 12 to 20%. And that would mean, back to 0.004, right? That would mean down here to these levels. If you guys don't know, in recent times, Turbo already showed some exhaustion right? The momentum was really slowing down. We broke structure. We retested off of this trend line. We continued to go lower, right? Creating a lower low, right? We failed to create higher highs consistently. We talked about how in the last video, yes, we did wake up, but look, we did create a lower high, and now we are going to go and create lower lows, right? We are going to be coming into this general area over here before we possibly get a little bit of a bounce back. Okay. So, for me, I just see discount opportunities. That is all I see when, price is coming back down. I personally think, Turbo is, in my opinion, worth the risk when it comes to a meme coin. But once again, you do have to remember it is literally just a meme coin, right? Sure, there is actually some real usage behind Turbo. It's not just as literally just a meme coin. Has a little bit more value, but it's still a lot of the narrative does come from the fact that it is a meme coin. Okay, so just be wary about that. Just be wary about that. But I'm super confident in Turbo. I believe Turbo is going to do very good this cycle. I'm not really worried. If we go to some of the other coins, if we go to rankings, we go to meme coins, right? We can see a lot of it's just been like the same top dogs we're consistently competing with. Peanut, AI, all these coins, Toshi, they at one point, a lot of these coins were above us at one point consistently, right? Consistently, but they have fallen off. And I do believe, we will be looking to overtake most of these coins right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Width is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16. We are 16th, right? So we are kind of just fluctuating between 16 and 13 with that I've been noticing, right? You got to remember not everything's going to pump at the same time, not everything's going to dump at the same time. But I do believe Turbo is going to enter that top 10, top 8, possibly even fighting for top 6, right? Something that may be competition. I'm not going to count the first 4, right? It was probably Bonk, Var, Whiff as our biggest competitions. Brett and Pengu, I'm not like the biggest fans of them. Brett, I am more a fan of Pengu, but they are kind of like wild cards to me if they perform. Mog, I do believe we will destroy. So yeah, couple wild cards in there, couple close calls, but I do overall think Turbo will have its shine. I do truly believe in that. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys are doing. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving,
versing today on Sunday. We're seeing a lot of them pump, guys, and this might just be the momentum we need to carry us on into the week in order to have a green week. I'm super excited. I think that May is overall just going to be a very solid month for crypto, and that is setting the stage for what is to come in June and the summer months. If you guys are new around here, welcome back, Turbo family. Or if you're new, actually, I wouldn't say welcome back. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ro. We cover the latest and the greatest crypto, where I try to help you guys make a 10, 20, 50, or even 100x in this cycle. We've done a 300x already. We've called some 100x's. We've called some 50x's, guys. And I'm super excited because Turbo is at its peak. It's going to be another 100x call. If you guys are new around here, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification and like the video so you help out with the algorithm and show YouTube that you actually still care about crypto. Listen, guys, subscribing is very important because we are almost at 15K, and I upload 2 to 3 videos every single day, and I'm starting to go live on YouTube a lot more frequently as well. If you guys appreciate that, then hey, help your boy out. With that being said, guys, let's hop into today's video. Now, I'm trying to figure out what method I like best. Like, do I want the lights on or the lights off? I feel like lights on, I look better. Lights off, I look kind of scary. So you guys know what that means, right? Market cap Turbo sitting at 5% right now, or sorry, up 5%. Market cap at 358 million. Volume starting to rally a little bit, up 44%. Now, earlier today, Turbo was at around 2056, but then we had a little bit of a sell-off actually. Seems like a lot of projects did have a sell-off because Ethereum as well was pushing 2,600, but then in the last hour dipped 4.12%. Not sure what happened there. Not sure why everything just decided to have a little bit of a dip recently. But let's actually take a look at Turbo as well, right? This was in the if we go over to the hourly chart here. Yeah, massive decline in the hourly, guys. Not sure what just happened as I started recording. You can see here we rode up to 2058, and then from there down 10%, down 11% as of right now. Still sitting on that demand area, which is super, super vital, super pivotal in Turbo's success. You guys can see here, right? This support area, guys, is one that needs to hold, and it needs to hold strong. So far, we have seen it hold very well in the daily. Obviously, guys, when you zoom into tighter time frames, such as the hourly chart, you're going to see a lot more confluence, like what you see over here at the bottom. I was pointing at my screen, expecting you guys to be able to see that. As of right now, hopefully, guys, this hourly does flip towards the upside, and then we continue our ascend and our move, guys, back to back to that 206 mark, because this is an area that we have been having a hard time trying to break through. Now, one of the reasons as to why Turbo is one of my biggest, or one of my best holdings, it is my biggest hold, but one of my favorites is, first of all, guys, AI generated, right? It was the first of its kind with a budget of $69. It came into fruition. There's a lot of projects that try to mimic this approach. The dev is doxed, and I think the dev doxing himself also made a I feel like it added a lot more authority onto the project, and a lot of other projects started to copy that framework because they've seen the success of Turbo, and a lot of other projects have started to implement that as well, right? Notably, guys, one of the projects that I've been pumping recently was Nitro, and Nitro took a big inspiration from Turbo, and the dev himself actually doxed himself as well. So again, Turbo, solid play as of right now. Obviously, the community does have a bigger say in the project and its future, and honestly, guys, it's heading in the right direction with over 125 plus exchanges. Not a lot of meme coins are listed on Coinbase and Binance. Turbo is one of the few that actually is, which is another green flag. Now, guys, if you do want to know what cryptos I am currently buying and selling, make sure you guys check out the Meme Coin Mastery. Guys, when you join the Meme Coin Mastery, you get notifications right away when I make a move in the market. You get access to exclusive content such as videos about my exit strategy, portfolios, technical analysis courses, and a little bit more. And again, we add to it whenever you guys want more uploads, and we'll try to get as much content out there as possible, right? Also, guys, you get to be a part of an active trading community, all investors who are all after the same goal from different walks of life, but we're all after the same thing. So obviously, Turbo in its essence, guys, solid play. Nothing has changed about the project. It's super bullish, continuing to move towards the upside. One of the strongest reversals that we've seen in the meme coin market, right? In the last in the last month, we're up 157%, rode up to that 206 mark, got rejected, guys. But literally at 206, you're 100% away from all-time highs. You're 2x away from all-time highs. And if you were buying, guys, at that 201 mark, remember, towards all-time highs, that's over a 10x. So just your gains are obviously diminished, but you are still very early. I just hope you guys were accumulating sub $100 million market cap, because this was just a couple weeks ago, guys, that we've seen this, right? Literally last month, Turbo was at a $85 million market cap. That's crazy, okay? If you were to see that right now, not a lot of you would even buy because you think Turbo is done or it's going a lot lower, which is why you always hear the saying, buy low, sell high. But when the price is low, no one wants to be buying because the sentiment around a project isn't good. Now, obviously, go follow them over on X, guys, so you can stay up to date with the latest information. I always like to say I am a big voice for the Turbo community, but it's one thing to hear from me and it's another to get it straight from the horse's mouth, or in this case, straight from Turbo Toad's mouth. Congratulations, Turbo holders. We are about to get rich. Steph is Crypto says. Day 7 of reminding Robinhood, it's time to list Turbo. No more delays. If you're looking for the bullseye, it's right here. Turbo on Robinhood. I feel like it's inevitable. And for the people who think that there is no power in doing something like this, let me tell you, your voice matters, guys. And I'm not just saying that as like some global activist, like post about world hunger or climate change or something. No. When you start posting over on X, accompanied by videos such as this, right? Not to toot my own horn, but genuinely, guys, it does make a difference. There was a member of the Turbo community who was posting at Revolut literally every day for I think 60 to 90 days, and we secured a Revolut listing. He single-handedly made that happen, and it's not just a win for him, it's a win for his bags, it's a win for the community, and obviously, guys, it's a good thing. So if you guys are watching this video and you're a big holder of the Turbo community, go talk about it like you do on X, right? Go talk about anything. Shout out to Pegleg Wally. He does a great job of this. I said 55K by the end of the week. We fell a couple short, but wow, the growth of Turbo recently is insane. This shows how many people are on the sidelines waiting for dips. We are adding close to 100 new holders every single day. Again, the stats speak for itself, right? Get ready for liftoff. My analyst is calling for a turbo pump soon. I'm buying turbo on my spot account, but remember DYOR. Again, I reckon he doesn't have an analyst, guys. Just keep that in mind. Sometimes you just got to switch off and quite literally hang out. The market does what it wants, but the turbo community stays strong and united. No stress, just swinging along, preferably all the way to the moon. One thing I love about the turbo community is that we don't hate on any other project. Genuinely, the success of Turbo's project is it just speaks for itself, right? 120 plus exchanges. We never have to go out there and dog another project and say Turbo's better than another project because the proof is in the pudding, which is why I love this project so much. There is so much. Okay, so my thing isn't switching. There we go. There's so much animosity in this crypto space, guys, when it comes to like PvP, my meme coin's better than your meme coin. My this is better than your this. Your dog isn't even a real dog. It's a breed that's mixed with something else. Listen, guys, if you're in crypto, we're all here to make money. And one thing I love is how the Turbo community doesn't really try to put down other communities, and that's one thing that I love. I see it happening quite a bit, and honestly, Turbo sometimes gets the short end of the stick, right? Other projects will be like, oh, this is the next Turbo, or this is going to outrun Turbo. When the Turbo community like us, we're just chilling because we know what we hold. And a good project, you never need to dog another one to think that or to make people believe that it's good. With that being said, guys, just remember none of this is financial advice, but I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we get another live stream out today. God bless y'all and peace out, guys.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Christina here. Welcome back to another video on the crypto channel, doing some coverage for you today on Turbo. A few things I just want to say before we jump into the chart here. This is a project that has had a lot of pumping in the past, but this still has so much gas left in the tank, and by no means do I think it's done pumping.
No matter what corner of the world you live in,
I think actually the
food,
pumps that
water,
we saw with this
shelter,
project were very
and
much
money.
like pre-pumps.
Half of every transaction involves money
I think
in
there's
exchange for goods
a
or
lot
services,
more left
stocks, a
for
loaf
this
of bread,
project,
illegal
so I don't want
drugs.
anyone to
You
lose
gotta
hope
pay
in it.
for it.
I don't want anyone to
We
lose
spend
their
much of our
conviction in
lives
the
chasing
project.
money to make a living
This is going
and
to do
accomplish
really,
our
really
dreams.
well.
But it's also an instrument
So
of
I would be
destruction.
holding like a
Some might
moon
say
bag
evil,
of this at the
driving
very
criminals.
least. Now, before I jump into the chart here, some people have commented on a lot of things, and I just take it with a grain of salt and I try not to read too much into those comments. But people have had a lot of opinions on how I read the 24-hour view, 7-day view when I say all-time low, all-time high. I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about the all-time high for the entire project, like as a whole, talking about all-time for the past 24 hours. But there was a recommendation made that maybe I should just say for the past 24 hours, we have a low of and a high of. So maybe I'll just say it like that. But yeah, I guess people did not like how I was saying it. So yeah, so let's just jump into the 24-hour chart here. Working with the price right now of 52.96, it's down 5.87%. Now it's going to be an adjustment, not saying all-time high, all-time low. So bear with me here. For the past 24 hours, we have a low of 50.02 with a high of 56.94. And it totally in the red there for the past 24 hours, but that's literally nothing and not a big deal in my opinion. For the past 7 days, it's down 9.34% with a low of 50.98 and a high of 64.74. A little bit of volatility there, but not bad. Then it's up for the month. 197.70%. We have a beautiful incline happening there. We have a low of 17.95 with a high of 61.61. Moving on into the 1-year view, we're up 381.87% for the year with a low of 14.71 and a high of 1 cent, a little over 1 cent at 0.13. And then the all-time chart looking totally bullish, up 78.38%. So like this chart is not only like sort of following the pattern of what other meme coins are kind of showing right now in terms of patterns, but it's even more bullish looking because right now what we're seeing with meme coins is we're seeing all this pumping that they've had and then they're kind of flattened out a little bit here. Not Turbo. Turbo is on its way back up at 0056.76. So this is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty bullish, healthy looking chart. It has all the tier ones already. It has Binance, it has Coinbase, obviously with the exception of Robinhood. It has crypto.com. I believe, yep, it has Kraken. So it has all those major tier ones. So this is what makes it so great, hot, bullish. Someone in my Discord said something really interesting that kind of stuck with me, and not everyone has this opinion, but I think it's a good opinion. If meme coins are not getting close to tier ones or heavily working on tier one exchanges, let alone not having any, tier one exchanges, meaning most projects right now, meme projects are either have tier one exchanges like Turbo or are working hard on getting at least 1 or 2 tier one exchanges. If they're not in that realm or that category, then it's, I don't want to say that the project is going to fail, but it's something that like they really should be working on now. Because if you don't have tier ones at this point or aren't really, really working on getting them, or at least have at least one, or like Kraken or maybe crypto.com, then it kind of just leaves the question, well, okay, where is the project headed? Like, what direction is this headed? Will it be successful without those major exchanges? Because I'll tell you something, these projects that already have tier ones or are working on tier ones are going to be very prominent and popular, and those other ones that don't have any tier ones are going to fall to the wayside. That's just the name of the game. I mean, once these projects have tier ones, that means that they're really kind of hitting mainstream. New investors are newbies and normies are going to be buying it on Coinbase and crypto.com and Binance. And that is essentially going to pump our bags, meaning the people who bought the project very, very early on, like a year ago or in the past 6 months or so. So, tier ones are important. Turbo has it all. And I think this is going to go very far this bull cycle. Community sentiment on this remains strong. 204K votes on this. 91% are bullish on the project with a small percentage being bearish. Let's do some math. I already have like my price prediction in my head, but I like doing the math because it just kind of shows you where it's going to go. So okay. 50x on the lower end of the spectrum, 100x on the higher end of the spectrum. So 50x conservative price prediction, 100x bullish price prediction. I think this is going to hit around 30 cents. Can it hit 50? Yes. I think 30 though is a little more realistic and conservative, but there is a strong potential because it is listed on so many of these exchanges that this could just pump and just be like unstoppable and go all the way up to 50 cents. Who knows? That's my range on this. So, pack your bags on this. Make sure you have a nice small, medium bag. This is a really great project. It's really grown on me through the past month. Not the past month, the past year. I meant to say it's really grown on me. So, yeah, definitely has a lot going for it. So pack your bags on this. I will keep you posted as I always do. Just a few things before I end this video. Social media links are in the description section. Instagram, X, Discord server. Give me a follow on those. Book a coaching call with me. I'm not going to go into detail because people didn't like that either, that I was, I guess, talking about it too much. Although I wasn't trying to push it. I was just trying to explain the packages so it's clear to people. But
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. It's your main man BTM signing out. I've been back and forth running around crazy, but buy the dip. Thanks for joining. It's okay to be weird and stay dangerous. Miner out.